Hi guys, welcome to Streaming from the Ethers. My name is Deonna Nichole and this is my video on the power of the mind. I entitled it, Your Mind is the Vehicle, and the information that I'm sharing is in light of the idea that your hopes and dreams are the destination. Like the title of my channel says, Streaming from the Ethers, a lot of this information I get is really inspired and pulled in from the universe. This specific bout of information is inspired by the universal law of attraction. And because what I got was so dense, like I had to write it down immediately, as swiftly as possible. I'm going to be reading from that today, just so that I make sure I stay on topic, because I'm pretty ADD and there's a lot to talk about. So, power of the mind and this whole your mind is a vehicle thing, it's really comes down to the idea that the world around you, your relationships with people, your experiences in life are a reflection of what you believe in your mind. I'm sure you've heard, maybe, they're a reflection of you. And yes, that's true. But to get more to the point, to get more specific, it has more to do with what you think, what you believe inside of your mind, even if you don't open your mouth and say the words. And that's a kind of lofty idea, because that means we have to take responsibility for our thoughts, not just our actions. But trust me, if you get what I'm talking about here today and you apply it, you will see results and you'll want to take responsibility, because it means everything you want in your life has suddenly become possible. Okay. So, how you steer your mind plays heavily upon what your journey's experience will become. Which direction you go determines how far away from your goal, or how direct and how close you get to it. I'm going to be using a couple of terms, probably a few times over, and I just want to make sure you understand what I mean when I say them. Adaptive perceptions, AP, is basically perceptions that we've manifested or constructed based on our environment and our experiences. So our worldviews of what is possible and what our limitations are, that we've gathered through personal experience or the experience of witnessing someone else go through something. It's basically our conclusion of life. And then there's adopting other people's perceptions, AOPP. So AOPP is basically when you take on somebody else's thought, belief, and make it your own. It's as simple as that. And we do this all the time. How we understand the world is mostly made up of personal experience and shared information. Clearly, doing these things can either result in a positive or negative impact in ourselves and in the way we move throughout the world. What I am hoping to do in discussing this information is to shed light on how we might AP or AOPP in a way that creates blockages on our journey for success. And if we can become aware of that, then we can kind of go back inside of our way of thinking and reprogram. So, I kind of see us as like robots, okay? Robots with environmentally adaptive perceptions and adopting other people's perceptions, but also all of that blended with what's the best word? Installed directives. Yeah, blended with installed directives. Our range of actions and the extent of which we can carry them out fuels our ability to achieve. And our range of actions are actually based in our perceptions of ability. So, wherever and however many roadblocks of belief we have in our abilities is what we get in our life. Mere reflection. Everything we believe, like truly believe, beyond the heart and into the mind, believe is possible, we experience it in the world. But everything that we believe is a limitation, is impossible, unachievable, inaccessible. If we really believe that, then it stays out of our reach. We've created it. We are the manifestors. For some people, I realize, who may be watching this video may have specific religious beliefs or lack thereof and are very scientific. And I just kind of have to say, first, if you are created in the image of your divine, then you yourself are divine and you are capable of creating your own circumstance. He gave that gift to you in your free will. Yes. But also, if you're a scientific person and you don't really believe in the mumbo jumbo, then try it. You're definitely a person of application and result, right? Well, what I'm talking about, I hope you will attempt to apply it to your life and see if there are any results. If it doesn't work out for you, it doesn't work out for you. But the key is you really have to try. You can't do it shrouded in doubt and fear and believing that it's not going to work, because that thought belief is going to overpower anything else you do. Okay, so in order to achieve, we must first believe it in the mind. This is just mind over matter. That's all it is. It's what we think in our head overpowers everything else, hands down. Sometimes we believe in our hearts, but we allow our adapted perceptions in the mind to thwart our levels of achieving. Kind of frustrating. So all those little secret hopes that you hold in your heart, that you really want to happen. If you believe that it's not going to happen, if you believe that you aren't appreciated, that no one sees you, the way that they see you is in some negative way, shape, or form. If that's what you truly believe, then that's what you're going to get instead of what you really want. If you want to be seen, if you want to be acknowledged, if you want to be appreciated, if you want to be loved, you must first believe that you are lovable and give that to yourself. So, in some things, we have totally mastered a thought pattern on every level. So no matter how it's challenged, through experience or tempted to AOPP, remember that's adopting other people's perceptions, we always manage to stick to our guns of thought belief. Like, nobody can really change your mind. And that can be a positive or negative. But again, we're looking at this right now. When I say mastering the thought belief, we're talking about thought beliefs that support your success, support the journey of success. So if this thought belief is supporting your journey of success, then that's the thought you want to master on every level. And we have some that no matter what we go through, no matter what anybody says, they can't convince you otherwise. Even if they have their own personal experiences that contradict your thought belief, you have your own personal experiences that tells you this works for you. Maybe not for everybody else, but for you, it works. And you hold on to it. However, we also have the ability to master a thought on one level or multiple levels and yet find ourselves challenged to the point of AOPP. So when I first heard about The Secret, I was doing everything I could to work on my thought processing because I realized I was really getting in the way of myself. And I was first applying that in small ways and being able to master that. Like maybe it was, instead of saying, I don't want to forget my keys, don't forget your keys, don't forget your keys, I transformed that thought into remember your keys. So it was a positive action. And then I actually found myself remembering my keys when I did that, instead of what usually happened was I would forget the keys if I said don't forget the keys. However, applying that in a bigger way, in a sort of manifesting level, I was still kind of doing things like, oh, my birthday is really gonna suck this year, because I had this thing where I just believed every year my birthday was gonna suck. And then eventually I got to a point where I was able to apply the thought pattern, the thought belief that supported my success, and realize what I was doing. And I said, no, you know what? I'm going to have a great birthday this year, like a really great birthday. And that's what I would get. So before I got to that point, I was only mastering my thought belief on small scale. And then I was able to apply it further and further and further. But there are still some thoughts that we have that we've yet to achieve on any level. And that's okay. Everybody's in their own process. Their journey unfolds specifically attuned to them. So looking to see what somebody else has achieved and the way that they achieved it, maybe it can inspire you. But that's not necessarily how things are going to play out for you. So don't stress yourself. Don't berate yourself. This is a lifelong journey from start to finish. And for those of you who believe we have multiple lives, it keeps going. Part of the human experience is awakening to this inner knowledge and then growing in our depth to apply it. Applied knowledge equals wisdom. This is the biggest soul directive we have. Growing wise. The journey and the process is limitless. It's infinite. That's what I mean by there's just no end to it. From the second we come into the world, we are learning things like fire is hot. Maybe we burned ourselves or saw mommy or daddy or our brother or sister or somebody burn themselves and started learning and shaping our understanding of the world. And we continue to do this until we take our last breath. There is no such thing as an old dog can't learn new tricks. That's just a thought belief that somebody adopted and decided to cling to and live their life through. Sorry to break it to you, but it's totally up to you. You can change your world by changing your thoughts. But not really sorry. I'm really happy to break that to you. So we have the growing wise directive, but we also have two other directives, soul directives. These are all based in the soul, right? We have two other directives that are intricately weaved with the growing wise directive that push us along on our path, push us on our journey of our life existence. And one of those other directives is the soul purpose directive. So that is which we know in our hearts and in our guts that we're supposed to be doing in the world, contributing to the world. And we can have more than one. And then there's also our subconscious directives. This is that thing we do, how we interact with people, how we behave in the world without a conscious intention, just being, just existing. And that has a rippling effect to assist others in their awakening to new levels or maintaining the mastered levels of their growing wise directives. Also lending a means of support in their soul purpose directives. So we're all intertangled in this brilliant web of oneness. Yes, we are individuals, but we are all interconnected, and our paths affect one another, shifting us into place to help us get where we know we're supposed to be, in our hearts and our guts, where we want to be. And also reflecting what we believe in our mind. It's trippy. It's a very trippy, intricate way that life plays out. But for instance, sometimes when we find ourselves in a challenging situation, it's actually to test our resolve of thought, making mastered become a continuously present achievement. It's not something that you get to, like you've climbed the mountain, you got to the top, it's done, it's over. No, you still got to climb down. And then there are more mountains. You still have to apply what you've mastered. Because if you have been challenged and you waver to the point of AP or AOPP, that goes against the thought that allows us to achieve, it's not truly mastered. But that's okay, because this is life, this is the universe, this is divine showing us where those parts in our thought belief need to be reprogrammed, reworked, and remastered so that it fully supports us. Because let's face it, if there's something wrong in the mechanics of our car, things start acting a little funny, and then we don't get to where we need to go as efficiently as we would like to. So maintaining and taking care of those parts is an important process to get where we want to be, and getting there as in the time that we'd like to get there. So that's this whole mechanism of bringing awareness into our thought beliefs, our thought patterns, and shifting them and reshaping them. And we are given opportunities to overcome the blocks in our thought belief. So not only are we presented with challenges, and then we find what we need to work on, but then the universe grants us opportunities to get through those blockages. The point is not for us to stay still. That was never the point. If we find ourselves stopped in the middle of the road or detoured or whatever it is that pulls us away from where we want to be going, then we are given tools. We're given gifts, opportunities, people to redirect us. Now, other times we're met with challenging circumstances to push us through our blocks that detrimentally no longer serve us. So often enough, that latter happens because it's time for us to move forward or rise up in our growing wise directive in order to progress. But maybe we're stuck in fears. So when these circumstances happen, it's like you have every tool in your tool belt that you could possibly need to build whatever you need to. You know, every person, you've built relationships, met new people who have the ability to move you forward, the ability to connect you with whatever needs connecting to get you where you want to go. And they're willing. They see it in you. They want to give this opportunity to you. The doors are wide open, and yet you're still stuck in the same place. It happens to all of us in some way, shape, or form. We have mastered everything we need to do. We've done all the work, and yet we're still stuck in place. We're not on the other side of that door. We haven't taken that person's hand. We haven't put our tools to use. And so the universe, the great divine, implement circumstances to push us out of our fear, to push us out of our doubts, out of our guilt. All of these things that really don't matter anymore. You don't need to cling to them. Let them go. They're not serving you anymore. In fact, what they are serving is creating these negative circumstances that's trying to teach you something, and you're refusing to take the lesson. It's time to leap. It's time to take that step of faith. And when you take it, you're gonna soar. You're gonna fly. And even if you fall, it's not gonna kill you. You're gonna get up and you're gonna try it again. You're gonna learn something out of that process that's going to help you go further than you made it last time. That's gonna help you fly longer than you were able to last time. So, these experiences push us out of our fear and into our truth. I am challenging every person watching this video to apply what I've been talking about. I want you to think of something that you wish to achieve, some dream of success, whatever it is. You can make it small, you can make it big, doesn't matter. You just gotta do it. And when you think of that something, I want you to pay attention to your streams of thought that come up every time you think of that thing that you want to do, and find something that's negative, something that you think about that actually acts as a contradiction to your journey of success. When you find it, you found your block. You found a thought belief that's acting as a blockage. And I want you to really look at it and find a way to transform it into a positive thought belief that supports your journey of success. And once you've done that and you really, really try it, it's okay if you're nervous, if you're a little scared, you have your doubts. Put your reservations and your doubts to the side and say, you know what? I'm going to try this without you. I'm not carrying this baggage. I'm going to do this without all that weight. And once I've made it through, I'll take back some of that and see if it was true. See if this worked or if it's a failure. Either way, I really hope that you do this. Take time. Give yourself 2 weeks, because some thought beliefs are hard to shake. And sometimes it just takes time for you to really lock it into place, right? We want to get it locked in and really working for us. And if you see results, if you see proof in your life that this is working, then look for another thought belief that can be transformed to support this goal. And if you achieve what you wanted to achieve and you want to keep achieving that, then keep implementing your work. It's a mastered level of thought, right? It's mastered. So you're continuing to master it, but then look for a new achievement. And then once again, go through that file of thinking and see what thought beliefs are getting in your way and come up with the ways to transform it into a positive support system. My name is Deonna Nichole, and once again, this is Streaming from the Ethers. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time.